Remember my remember my channel is about providing with information for you to use to make decision. My channel is not about entertainment. My channel is about educating you about what is going on, including what is happening in your likely bodies, your physical bodies as well, your being. So today I want to deal with non-communicable disease among the working age. Um, in Jamaica, those we're talking about those 18 to 64, sometimes 18 to 60. I want to look at non-communicable disease among that group, and I know a number of you are in that age group. So I'm providing with information now for you to use to make decision. When we speak about non-communicable disease, we're actually speaking about chronic conditions. These are illnesses that you encounter over time, mostly because of your lifestyle practices. Now, we need to understand clearly as a result of how a number of persons are living, what we are also finding out is that there are non communicable diseases that are affecting children, and many children are now being born with non communicable disease. I've done something on that, I think, before. We are showing that 3.6% of children, almost 4% of children born, are now born with non communicable diseases. That is, the cancers, the diabetes, the hypertension, um, arthritis, other things. All right. So, what we want to look at today is just to say to you what is actually going on with your system for you to understand that I really want you to make decisions. So, that this is my topic. It's a research that I have done to look at this matter. So, the research is actually looking at secondary data drawn from Ministry of Health publications, drawn from other organizations as well, including Statistical Institute of Jamaica and the Planning Institute of Jamaica. We are looking at what is happening to persons who are 18 to, as I said, 65. Some in some cases, some persons will say 60, but this is between 15 and 64. All right, for you to get a perfect idea as to what it is that I am referring to, for you to understand clearly that I really want to make a difference in terms of your decision making. All right. So here I go now. So let's look at some realities among those who are, as I said before, 16 to 64 years old. This is now from 25. This is from 25 the data that I'm getting. And we are saying that 28% or 29% of Jamaicans have hypertension, 12% diabetes, cardiovascular diseases, 8%, respiratory diseases, 6%, and cancers, 4%. What we're seeing is that hypertension higher in female than males, diabetes higher in females than males, cardiovascular disease higher in male than females, respiratory illness marginally higher than in male females than males, and cancers higher among females than males. So I remember we're saying these are lifestyle practices that we need to look at. Let's look at some other issues now. Those who are employed have a lower rate of hypertension than those who are unemployed. Let's take diabetes. Those who are unemployed have a higher rate. Let's take cardiovascular illnesses. Those who are unemployed have a higher rate. Let's take respiratory illnesses, higher than those who are employed. Let's take cancers, high among those who are unemployed than employed. So what are we saying? What practices are we employing in Jamaica among Jamaicans that is seen that you're unemployed, which means you're at your leisure doing the things that you want to do at your leisure? What are you consuming and doing so much that is bad for your health? To look at that, because something has to be done. You should be doing care for yourself better than that. But let's look at some other issues. Older persons, 1.1 times more likely to have non-communicable diseases. Females, 1.34 times more likely to have these. The unemployed, almost 2 times more likely. The unemployed, almost 2 times. Those who are not active, low physical activity, you're almost 2 times more likely to have non-communicable disease. And those with high BMIs, which means you're obese, you're 2.2 times more likely to what? To have non-communicable diseases. Let's look at diabetes. Older, more likely to have diabetes. Females, more likely to have diabetes. Unemployed, almost 2 times more likely. Low physical activity, you're almost 2 times more likely. Family history of diabetes, and that would think people need to take into consideration. What is your family history? So if your family's had diabetes, you're almost 3 times more likely to have diabetes. And remember, we're actually speaking using information, all right, that is real. Let's look at Jamaica, compare Jamaica with the Caribbean, Jamaica with the Americas, and Jamaica with the globe. Adult obesity among females in Jamaica is 34%, Caribbean 31%, the Americas 28%, globally 24%. So we are 10% more likely to be obese in an adult state as a female globally. What are we doing, females? The Jamaican males is about the same in terms of obesity compared to the rest of the world. So that is not bad. But we're saying, Jamaican females, what are you doing so much? What life are you practicing that's resulting in this reality? Diabetes. We're higher in Jamaica in terms of adult diabetes compared to the world. Smoking in Jamaica, we are lower than the Caribbean, lower than the Americas, lower than the world, and that is a good sign. Non-communicable disease mortality, which means death. Jamaica, 77% of those in Jamaica who have non-communicable diseases are likely to die, compared to 71% of the world. Marginally different. So we need to understand clearly that our behavior, remember I said to you before, that what is resulting in non-communicable diseases is your lifestyle practices and the choices that you make. The choices you make not to exercise, the choice you make to smoke, the choice you make just to sit down and do nothing at all, the choice you make to actually consume all the sweet, the choice you make to actually consume all the saturated fat, the choice you make to consume all the sugar, the choice you make to actually do nothing about your physical being, those things, ladies and gentlemen, are having a toll on us. What we are seeing in Jamaica, there has been about a 50% increase in non-communicable diseases compared to the rest of the world. And this we must actually look at, ladies and gentlemen, to sort of understand what is wrong with us, what are some of our choices that we are making. It is clear that our choices as Jamaicans are leaving us ill, and these illnesses are long-term illnesses that are going to be costing you, your health, the country, resources to actually spend on these diseases. And therefore, we have to take stock of our actions. Remember, we're saying ladies are almost 2 times more likely to have non-communicable disease than males. So I remember ladies are living about 10 years longer than males in Jamaica. So what does that mean? A number of females are coming down with non-communicable diseases, and you'll be living longer with these non-communicable diseases as a result of your choices in your earlier years. The working age population is what this study is about. And I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, a number of persons who are listening to me are among the working age population, and therefore we need to take into consideration what are our choices, what are our no choices, which is also a choice, what are our actions, what are some of the things that we do and we don't do, because these are leaving us ill for longer. But we need to understand clearly as well, as I said to you before, you're almost 2 times more likely, or it's 2.85 times, which means 3 times more likely to have diabetes if your parents had it. And a number of Jamaicans, including myself, families have hypertension, diabetes, in some cases, multiple scenarios. And we are saying we need to look at this because this must be addressed. If this is not addressed, we are going to be having some serious challenges among our people. The choices we are not making, ladies and gentlemen, is affecting us substantially. We need to take into consideration that every time you do not exercise, it's affecting you later. Every time your family has particular illnesses and you do not take a stock of your actions and inactions, it's affecting you later. We are saying we are people that can make adjustments based on information. I'm presenting you with information here that you have got to take stock of your actions. Those fast food, you have got to stop or reduce your consumption of them. The extra sugar, you have got to start deciding whether you're going to be consuming all this bag juice, all this bag drink, all this bottle juice, all this fruit juice, and go and do your things naturally. We have got to start looking at our behavior in terms of taking your car and taxis everywhere and doing some walking. Your bodies need to be exercised. You need to get rid of some of the sugar and some of the things that are inside your body. Do some cardiovascular exercises, do other physical exercises, because we have to address what we are currently seeing inside of the numbers. The numbers are saying we are inactive and coming down with many illnesses. And for the females, you are 2 times more likely to have many of these cardiovascular diseases, many of these cases of hypertension, many of these cases of diabetes, many of these cases of respiratory illness than a male. And you are the ones with childbearing. But we also look at something females. A number of children are now coming down with illnesses, non-communicable diseases, the cancer, the diabetes, and it is as a result of your action, ladies, that they are now born. 4% of Jamaican children are born with non-communicable diseases, the cancer, the diabetes, the hypertension, the respiratory illnesses. That is as a result of your practices while you were pregnant, during the gestation period in which you had that child in your womb. Your practices resulted in the child having these illnesses. What you need to understand clearly is that as a result of your practices, those children who do not begin their first day on earth, as when they are born, with these non-communicable diseases, as a result of your action, later on, these play on the children. Likewise, we need to take a stock of our actions. We have got to look at what we are doing. We cannot continue this practice, otherwise, we are going to be in trouble, ladies and gentlemen. We have got to look at who we are, where we are, what we are going to do to make a difference in this life. This video was about you. You have got to take a stock of your action. Like, share, and subscribe to this channel as I continue to provide with trusted information for you to use to make a decision. Let's have a discussion on this one. This is real. These are numbers from the Ministry of Education and University of the West Indies in terms of the department that looks at health and wellness lifestyle in 2016. These are real people, real numbers. Let's have a discussion about it. Thank you.